Hello, it's Kristin with Decorator's Warehouse, your holiday decorating BFF. And today we're going to hit on one of our most requested topics, which is how to take our decorating techniques and adapt them to a slim tree. So we're going to be doing a fun pastel kitchen tree, and we're going to walk through our 4 steps and how to scale back to get the look that you need for a smaller tree. So before we get started, I do want to point out the base of this tree. If you have a smaller tree, it's often hard to find a skirt that'll fit. So use your house to shop, but we actually found a pillowcase in the right colors and it worked perfect, and we just kind of bunched that around the base. You could use baskets, blankets, anything that you have around your house, or even just fabric from a craft store. The tree that we're decorating today too, this is from Decorator's Warehouse. We have these available in our store. It's a 4.5-foot tree. It's called the Snowcrest, and we have them lit, unlit, starting at 4.5 feet and all the way up to 12 feet. So if you have a narrow space in your home, like a kitchen, a children's room, a staircase, a slim tree is a great way to fill that space. All right, we're gonna jump into the first step of our 4-step process. If you've been around, you know about our 4 steps. It's a way of simplifying the decorating process and breaking it into manageable chunks. So the first step is our topper. When you're working with a slim tree, the key is we're scaling everything back. Our bigger trees, we use anywhere from 25 to 35 sprays. We're gonna pick 3 styles for this 4.5-foot tree, and we're just using 2 pieces of each style. So same techniques, scaled back quantities. So I've got this one, it's fun. This is called the Dewberry. We sell them in lots of colors. It's a short stem and it's really nice and airy. So we'll start with that one, and we're just gonna run that along the pole. You can actually take the branches themselves, wrap it around and hold it in place. And see how nice that opens up? That's gonna be a great foundation. Then I'm gonna take the same stem and I'm gonna put it on the back side of the tree. My next stem is this fun candy cane. Don't be afraid of it, it is a long stem, but we're just gonna run that stem straight along the pole. I'm gonna do that one a little more angled, and then I'm gonna mirror that on the other side. And then the third stem we're using is this fun donut. I love the color on this one. It has a sprinkle. I love sprinkles. The second step of our 4-step process is the ribbon. I adore ribbon. It's so fun. It definitely ties your theme together. So my biggest trick on a small tree is we're just gonna scale back on ribbon too, and we're gonna adjust the size of the ribbon to the size of the tree. So generally on my full-size trees, you'll see me layer 2 together and then bring in a third as an accent. For this small 4.5 tree, I'm gonna use 1 style, and this is a 2.5-inch ribbon. It's gonna pair perfect with this size tree. As far as the techniques for the ribbon, I'm gonna do it the same way. I'm gonna work in series of loops and billows, and we're gonna make cuts as we go. So I'm gonna start here at the base of my topper, and I am going to create a tail just by making a pleat. We're gonna do a loop. Now, because this is a smaller size tree, I'm not gonna make a big loop. I'm gonna work with a smaller size loop. And then we're twisting that to get it back to the front. That's gonna go into the tree using the branches to secure it. And then we want to run our hand along to create a billow, and then again use the branches to secure it. And if you want, because this is a pattern ribbon, if you want the pattern to face upright, go ahead and pre-cut your strip. Okay, and if you pre-cut your strip, you can place the ribbon in a way that the pattern stays upright, if you're working with a pattern ribbon like this one. All right, so let's create another pleat, a loop. We're gonna go to the other side of the tree and repeat the same process. And since I have a little bit extra, I'm gonna go ahead and make a second loop. For this small tree, 1 10-yard roll of ribbon should be plenty. Okay, that's step 2. So I'm gonna change up the order a little bit if you followed our processes before. Usually I do my florals and sprays next. On this smaller tree, I actually think it would work better to place my ornaments, because this tree is not gonna be heavy focus on florals and sprays. It's gonna be heavier focus on the ribbon and the ornaments. Sprays are gonna simply act as filler. So with the ribbon placed, I can kind of see where my holes are. For the ornaments on this tree, again, we want to think about scale. So we don't want to overpower the tree with a ton of big ornament. So I'm going to use these fun sprinkle balls. That's probably like a 3.5, 4-inch ball. That's the biggest I would go on a tree like this. And then I've got the shatterproof. It's pretty small size. You can see it compared to my hand. These cute little popsicles, and then these fun flat discs. All right, all of my ornaments are placed. I think it's looking adorable. The next step, usually we do this as our third step, but I've flip-flopped the order and we're gonna do florals and sprays. The biggest change we're gonna make from our normal 4 steps is we're gonna take out the big pieces. So usually we cluster or group florals and sprays together. We're scaling back. We're not gonna do any floral clusters. I've got a smaller scale flower, so this isn't quite as big as some of the florals that we carry. And I'm gonna use 3 of these in this 4.5-foot tree. Also, due to the size of this tree, obviously we can't use the big stem. So I'm gonna have my wire cutters handy. I'm gonna cut these down so that they don't pop out the other side. The last thing that I'm gonna do is add in our stems. Now again, because our tree is so small, I don't want to overpower the tree, so I'm thinking in terms of scale. These are great, as are most sprays that we carry, because they have natural breaks. So we're going to use the wire cutters, and we're going to cut these down at their natural breaks. So see how I now have a smaller stem that I can just insert anywhere that I have spaces. So out of that bigger stem, I'm getting 2 smaller stems. So for the cake pops, I used 3 on the front side of this tree. So if I was doing the whole thing, I'd probably double that and use 6. I'm also gonna use this dewberry that I used in the topper. It's a great filler. It opens up nice. And again, I can get 2 smaller stems from this one piece. Okay, and we used 3 of the white dewberry stem for the front of this small tree. If I was doing the back side, I would double that and do 6. Now, depending on the height of your tree and the fullness of your tree, you can add in additional styles. You can add in additional quantity as well. But take these general principles and adapt them to your tree and your style. All right, well, that concludes our slim kitchen gingerbread pastel tree. It's so fun. All the products that are shown here are available on our website, which is www.decoratorswarehouse, and I'll link them down below in the comments. Thanks for joining us. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification so you can stay up to date on all of our most recent content. Well, thank you for following, and Merry Christmas.